The rejection came quietly, without shouting or anger, but it landed harder than any insult. A folded resume slid back across a polished desk, eyes barely lifting to look at the man who had walked in with hope and walked out feeling invisible. In that moment, wearing worn-out shoes and a plain jacket, no one could tell that the man leaving the building owned more wealth than anyone inside. And no one could guess that this small rejection would become the turning point of his entire life. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that prove one good heart can change everything, take a moment right now to like this video, comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Michael Carter had once stood on the highest floors of glass towers in New York City, signing deals worth millions without breaking a sweat. Years earlier, his tech company had exploded overnight, turning him into one of the youngest self-made millionaires in the United States. Success followed him everywhere, but so did something darker. People saw his money before they saw him. Every smile felt calculated, every relationship fragile. After a painful betrayal that cost him trust more than cash, Michael made a decision that shocked everyone who knew him. He walked away. He sold his shares, kept only a portion of his wealth hidden away, and disappeared from the world that applauded him only when he paid for the applause. Michael moved to a quiet city in Ohio, choosing a modest apartment and a life where no one knew his name. He wanted to know what it felt like to be seen without money speaking first. To test himself, he decided to find honest work, something simple, something real. He trimmed his beard, dressed plainly, and printed a basic resume that listed only short-term jobs and skills he had once taken for granted. That was how he ended up being rejected again and again. Construction sites told him he was overqualified. Offices said he was underqualified. Cafes never called back. Each rejection chipped away at his confidence, replacing pride with humility he had never learned when success came too easily. One afternoon, exhausted and emotionally worn down, Michael walked into a large historic hotel on the edge of town, hoping to apply for a maintenance position. The lobby gleamed with polished floors and quiet luxury. The manager barely glanced at him, scanned his resume, and politely dismissed him within minutes. As Michael turned to leave, something strange happened. He felt relief mixed with sadness, as if the world was teaching him a lesson he could no longer avoid. Sitting on a bench outside the hotel, staring at his hands, he wondered if he deserved this struggle or if he was being punished for a life lived too comfortably before. That was when Sarah Whitmore noticed him. Sarah was a hotel maid, a single mother in her early 30s with tired eyes and a gentle presence. She had just finished a long shift of cleaning rooms, her back aching, her thoughts heavy with unpaid bills and worries about her young son. She saw Michael sitting alone, shoulders slumped, looking more broken than lazy. Something about his silence felt familiar. Without asking who he was or why he was there, she offered him a bottle of water and a quiet smile. That simple act caught Michael off guard more than any rejection had. Over the next few days, Michael returned to the hotel, not to apply for work, but because that bench had become a place where someone treated him like a human being. Sarah never asked personal questions. She spoke about ordinary things, about her son Jacob who loved drawing superheroes, about how she dreamed of opening a small cleaning business one day. Michael listened, truly listened, for the first time in years. There were no expectations, no hidden motives, no judgment. Just two people sharing the weight of life in small moments stolen between responsibilities. When Sarah learned Michael was still searching for work, she quietly spoke to the head housekeeper and recommended him for a temporary helper role. It was low pay, physically demanding, and far from glamorous. Michael accepted without hesitation. For the first time, he cleaned hallways, carried heavy carts, and scrubbed floors alongside people who had been invisible to him in his former life. He saw their exhaustion, their humor, their dignity. Sarah never treated him differently, never tried to impress him. She treated him kindly because that was who she was. Weeks turned into months. Michael worked harder than he ever had behind a desk. The physical labor humbled him, but it also healed something inside. He began using his business skills quietly, helping co-workers organize schedules, reduce wasted supplies, and improve efficiency, never mentioning his background. Slowly, the hotel operations improved, and management took notice. They offered Michael a supervisor role, still unaware of who he truly was. He declined at first, not wanting power to change him again. But Sarah encouraged him gently, reminding him that using skills to help others was not the same as ruling over them. Life outside work also changed. Michael became a part of Sarah's small world. He helped Jacob with homework, fixed things around their apartment, and felt a sense of family he had never bought with money. One evening, after a long day, Sarah shared her fear of always being one emergency away from losing everything. That night, Michael lay awake, staring at the ceiling, realizing how protected he had always been by wealth he never truly appreciated. Eventually, the truth came out, not through pride but necessity. When the hotel faced financial trouble and possible closure, Michael stepped forward. He revealed his identity, his resources, and his willingness to invest, not for control, but to save jobs and futures. The shock was overwhelming. People who once dismissed him now looked at him with disbelief. The manager who rejected him avoided his eyes, but Sarah simply sat quietly, processing the truth without anger or excitement. Michael purchased the hotel, restructuring it into an employee-centered business where wages were fair and voices were heard. He offered Sarah a leadership role, but she chose to remain grounded, helping train others while slowly building her dream business with his support. He funded her company not as charity, but as belief. He also set up education funds for workers' children, including Jacob, who proudly told his friends that superheroes could be real. Just before the ending, take a moment to comment below and share what this story made you feel. Your words matter more than you think. Michael never returned to the life he left behind. He learned that rejection stripped him down to his truest self, and kindness rebuilt him stronger than success ever did. The world had rejected the man in disguise, but it was a Maid with no wealth and endless compassion who changed everything. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness still has power, please like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps spread stories that remind us all what truly makes someone rich.